The Prince of Wales and Princess of Wales may well never become the next monarchs, amid dwindling support for the royal family, anti-monarchy activists have claimed. Since the release of Harry's book release, fears have been rising that the firm's reputation could be durably dented amid a wave of damaging allegations. The latest YouGov surveys claim the firm's standing has taken a hit, with a slump in British people expressing pride for monarchy from 55% in September to 43% in January. 1 in 5 Britons is now embarrassed by the monarchy, up from 15% in September, surveys add. In light of these numbers, Graham Smith, anti-monarchy activist and spokesperson for Republic, said there is every possibility William will never rise to the throne. He told Express.co.uk, "The chances of George making it to the throne are even lower. We have ahead of us 100 years of fairly elderly men, as William is likely to be in his 60s when he becomes king and George well into his 60s. Quote, Mr. Smith added the mounting level of opposition with lots of protests at Charles's coronation, a lot of anger at, and the fact deference doesn't exist, since the Queen is no longer there means Prince William may never rise to the throne. Mr. Smith added, and we're going to see a lot of countries around the Commonwealth ditch the monarchy. Quote, with all these headwinds poised to face the monarchy, Mr. Smith said, the notion that they will survive in the long term is increasingly unlikely. Simon Hill, an anti-monarchy activist who was charged with using threatening or abusive words against King Charles at a proclamation ceremony for King Charles, believes the death threats he has since received are signs the monarchy is dying off. I had messages telling me I should be hanged for treason, had a Conservative councillor in Essex saying I should be sent to the Tower of London. Mr. Hill added. And why are those people so defensive? They are defensive because they know that the monarchy doesn't make sense and is losing support. Quote, royal expert Richard Fitzwilliams admitted the latest YouGov polls were concerning, but said it is only of the many crises the firm has gone through over the last decades, and will recover from it, as it did after Princess Diana's death in 1997. This statistic is concerning, though the current crisis is not unique. The 1990s were a dreadful decade for the royal family, featuring the annus horribilis and Diana's tragic death, yet by the Golden Jubilee in 2002, the tide had turned, and the royals regained popularity. Mr. Fitzwilliams continued. That support for the senior members of the royal family remains high. It does to some extent depend on what the unpredictable Sussexes do next, but this decline in support is not likely to be long-term. Political scientist Prof. John Curtis came to the same conclusion in his report released in September about public opinion and the future of the royal family in the wake of the Queen's death. Despite small ups and downs, support for the monarchy has remained remarkably constant over the last 30 years, with around 35% of British people who believe it is very important to continue to have a monarchy,